Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Real Life Fishing. Again, my goal for these videos is to get one new subscriber per video. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed yet, do me a favor and mash that button down there in the corner, or you can wait till the end of the video, it'll pop up for you. Be my one for today. Thanks. So what I'd like to talk to you about in this video is I really want to drill into some of the mapping that's available on these Humminbird Helix units, because they are quite a bit more powerful than previous generations of graphs, right? The Helix line. Humminbird has really added a lot to these things. So what we're looking at here, I have the Wisconsin Lake Master Plus version 3 card, which is the newest card that's available. And you can see on these lakes here that all we get, if I zoom in a little bit, all you get is this 5-foot contour line, right, around this lake down here. And this lake up here is not mapped at all. So if we go into the chart, right, so you can see that base layer is set to the 2D map, and presently there is no overlay, right? So what I like to do when I go out on this lake, because I've recorded everything for this, so I go to my Lake Master Auto Chart card, right, which is a zero lines card. It's different than the regular Lake Master cards, and you cannot use just any old SD card. It has to actually be a Lake Master Auto Chart zero lines card. And this is what they look like right here. Got two of them. So that's the zero lines card. And so if we select this, and we'll start with the 2D map, right? So what that's going to do then is that is going to give us zero lines, right? So what is a zero line, right? So the zero line is the zero contour, okay? So that is where the water meets the land, right? That is 0 foot water depth, right? So I'm going to use that for my base layer. And so the reason that I do that is so that I can see what portions of the lake I have not yet mapped, right? And on this lake, that's important to me because I'm still working to fill in some small little bits of the map that are left. But so if we go back here then, so we go to overlay options, and under map overlay, once again, I'll go down to the zero lines card. And this time though, I'm going to select the auto chart layer. Right, so as soon as I do that, now you see that we've got all kinds of map data that has shown up, right? Look at how much of those lakes are mapped now. So we can scroll around here, zoom in a little bit more, but you can scroll in now and you can see that this entire other section of lake, which Humminbird or Lake Master did not map for us at all, right? Now we've got all this map data all the way throughout this entire lake, right? So there's still a few spots that I need to go over, but honestly, the spots I don't have mapped, like, this bay down here, we don't ever fish those. There's a reason for that, but I don't want to give away too much about my lake, right? So, yeah, so that the overlay feature then, very important, right? So if I go up to another set of lakes that I've got some map data for. All right, so here's some map data from another lake that we fish, and you can see that I've got a significant portion of this mapped, but there's still quite a bit of it that I don't have, right? All this blue, right? Just this open, right? No contours, and so that's blue because I've got the base layer selected as the auto chart 2D, which again just shows me the zero lines, right? And then my overlay is the auto chart zero lines layer, the auto chart layer, which shows me the maps that I have created. So on this water, what I do is I set my base layer to be the Lake Master 2D, right? And then that's going to give me all of the contours from the Lake Master card, right? But if we zoom in on some of those, you can see that they don't quite line up, right? The map data that I have gathered myself, that I trust, doesn't quite line up with what Lake Master is telling me, right? Like I'm showing a 75-foot contour here. They're saying only a 72, right? And then some of the contours, they don't even have some of the humps, right? They're not even on the Lake Master cards, right? But so in this scenario though, what I normally do on the overlay is I'll add some transparency to that so that I can still see through my overlay layer what's available down there, right? So now you can see that my recorded data, right, the numbers are kind of lighter, right? I don't know if you can quite make that out, right? But you can actually see through my data, right? And so we can flip that around. If we go into the menu, if we set the base layer to be my data, right, auto chart, and then we go to the overlay and we say make the overlay the 2D map from Lake Master, right? So now my data is the data that shows up, you know, prominently, and the Lake Master data behind that is, you know, pretty see-through, right? So we can even adjust the transparency on that a little bit more, right? Make that like 80% so that it doesn't cloud up my stuff so much. You can just kind of barely make out the Lake Master data that's in there, right? But yeah, so you got a number of options as to you know, how you want to view your map data. All right, and so one other thing that I'd like to show you here is under the chart view, right? You've got vessel offset and offset speed. So what does that do? All right, so if you turn on vessel offset, once you reach your offset speed, it's going to shift the boat icon and shift the map so that you see more of the map that's in front of you. And let's take a look at that in action. And you can see as we're traveling here that the boat icon is toward the bottom of the screen, leaving the majority of the screen ahead of you available to display contour information, so that when you're traveling at higher speeds, you can see more of the map that's out in front of you. As we begin slowing down to the speed that I configured, 10 miles per hour, you'll note now that the boat has jumped back to the center of the screen. All right, well, I hope that you guys found this video informative, and if you liked it, click that like button down there on the bottom, and if you're not my one for the day, click that subscribe and be my one. Thanks.